Hey, this is Jules. Welcome to the Power Up Starlight podcast. I'm recording this a day in advance of the full moon at the end of September 2020. Let's see what comes through about the energies for the next couple months. Hello. We are representatives of the Arturians who are members of the Aquarian Light Council who work with Jules. We come forward specifically on this day because we wish to share information and details about energetic structures that can be used in the coming times to support your expansion, to shield yourself from negative incoming energies, and to support a smooth transition into living with higher frequencies, living in greater connection to your soul, lining up with the energies that will be pouring onto the planet. In previous transmissions, the Light Council has shared with you that the chaos of this year will continue and in many ways amplify in the next 3 months through the remainder of this year. Due to the amount of disruptions that are present in your cultures at this time, we feel it is best to focus on the remainder of the year and not move into discussions of 2021. But we would like to tell you that there will be, in essence, a clearing of the clouds in many ways. But before then, what is coming now? Imagine that you are on a train, that all of humanity is on a train. And during this year, there have been many people who have gotten off the train stops where people, groups, get off and take a different tour. In particular, we are speaking in an analogy for the ways that different countries have approached the pandemic. So the majority of the people still on the train that we are discussing are from the United States, and that is because of the handling of the pandemic, yes, but also the role of the United States in the energies of the New World Order and transitions that will be happening for many of you. So imagine this. The train goes into a station, a large station, where there are many other connections, many other types of trains going. There will be a number of people, increasing numbers of people who check out, who choose to transition between now and the end of the year. Their soul mission has been completed. They are moving on to other expressions of their soul light. For some, the passage will be painful, but it is something that their soul anticipates with joy. For many, they will simply pass in their sleep. Their passage will not be connected to the pandemic. So hold that in mind. When we say this, it is not related to the pandemic. It is simply these cycles of time that many souls have come to experience this transition, the beginning of this transition, and now they are checking out because they have completed what they wished to learn on the earth plane. But the shift that we are talking about for many of you is that you are on a train with people who are not seeking spiritual light, who are not wishing to transmute old energies and create the new earth. This is in some ways related to the pivot that we have spoken of. You will have pivots in how you relate to your society and your community. Some of the pivots we've mentioned have been in terms of your job or your livelihoods. But we speak of this now because you will have a choice to choose to stand in the light, to choose to access the light, to choose to call upon us and all the beings of light who work with you. You will have an opportunity to experience a different energy, an entirely different energy architecture of your life, based on whether or not you are striving to complete your divine mission, or even if you don't phrase it that way, if you are choosing to search for ways to be a better person. There aren't any magic words, there aren't any specific formulas, there aren't any specific beings to call forth, or invocations, or There's nothing specific. It's a soul-light decision that is translated into your life in a myriad of ways. But it is always turning toward the light. And so now we come to what we first mentioned was the energy architecture. During the coming months, it will be increasingly noisy in terms of arguments between peoples, in terms of chaos in communities, in terms of violence between different sectors of the community, between police and military units and people. And there are going to be times when you would like to preserve a safe and sacred space for you, for your house, when you drive your car, for your children. And we are offering you an easy way to do that by using your imagination and your ability to hold a vision in your mind and your intention and calling forth of what it is that you wish to be manifest in your reality right now. And before we go into the simple steps of doing that, we wish to reiterate, you create your reality. It is completely in line with the power of your soul and your divine mission and moving forward in the light to command that you be safe and secure, to command the assistance of your guides. You are a powerful, divine, creative force. And so there are times when it is quite useful, when it is necessary to claim that. This will be one of those times. So say you are in your home and it's election night and everything feels crazy. You can turn off the TV. You can say, I set the intention that I am in a safe and serene space. I call forth all the beings of light who work with me, all of my guides, and I place myself within a sphere of light, or I place myself inside an octagon, or I place myself inside a pyramid of light. Each of those geometric structures has a different energy to it, a different construct, obviously. When we said those three, there was probably one of those that you responded to most quickly, that you could envision yourself sitting inside most easily. That's the one you should go with. If there's always been a shape that you have enjoyed, a square, a sphere, a pyramid, a sphere of triangulations, we are suggesting that you at this time choose a geometric safe space, an energy architecture that you can call forth. And then once you are inside it, you can say a prayer, you can call for assistance, you can use your intention, you can use your imagination. For instance, you place yourself inside a sphere. I set the intention that my home is encompassed within this sphere, and that the energy within this sphere, within my home, is one of peace and grace and ease. And I call forth all of my guides to aid me in anchoring this light now. I set the intention that I am in resonant harmony with the highest light of my soul. I set the intention that I am connected now, fueled and inspired and held and comforted, filled with serenity and grace from my I Am presence and from the guides who work with me. I am grateful for this assistance. I set the intention that this sphere of light remain in place now, through this day, through this night, bringing everyone in my home blissful rest. So be it. Play with that. See what appeals to you. See what you turn from, because there might be reasons that you turn from something. Maybe you cannot believe that you can call forth, that you can command. Maybe there's an inner voice that tells you you're not worthy of that. See what comes from this. It is powerful. Using energy architecture, using light as creating a geometry of creation around you, will be increasingly used and useful in these times. Perhaps you want to look up sacred geometries and see what we mean by that. And as we have discussed details that have perhaps moved you from your heart to your mind, we will now open a doorway of light for you. May you be held. May you know our presence, more and more and more of our presence, and may you be blessed by it. We will return soon with more guidance on these interesting times. Know that you are deeply loved and honored for your presence on the earth at this time. So be it. Miss Jules, I use energy architecture a lot. I use spheres of light a lot. I use triangulation networks when I do earth work with my guides. If you're more comfortable with sound, you can see yourself held in a container of sound. If you're more comfortable with light as a waterfall instead of seeing it as a geometry, you can do that as well. Whatever works for you. Play with it. Let me know what you think. Thanks for listening.